Thanks for visiting my YouTube channel. Here are the NBA regular season standings updates, game result, and the game schedule for tomorrow. For the game result, in the first game, the Denver Nuggets got their second straight win after defeating the Boston Celtics, with a score of 114-110. Peyton Watson was the top scorer for the Denver Nuggets with 30 points, followed by Jamal Murray made a double-double performance of 22 points and 17 assists, Tim Hardaway scored 14 points, and Aaron Gordon added 12 points. Jaylen Brown was the top scorer for the Boston Celtics with 33 points, followed by Derek White scored 17 points. In the second game, the Detroit Pistons got their three-game winning streak after defeating the Chicago Bulls, with a score of 108-93. Isaiah Stewart was the top scorer for the Detroit Pistons with 31 points, followed by Duncan Robinson scored 12 points, Ronald Holland and Ausar Thompson added 11 points each. Ayo Dosunmu was the top scorer for the Chicago Bulls with 24 points, followed by Matisse Buzelis scored 20 points. The Philadelphia 76ers beat the Washington Wizards, with a score of 131-110. Joel Embiid was the top scorer for the Philadelphia 76ers with 28 points, followed by Paul George scored 23 points, Tyrese Maxey had 22 points, and Quentin Grimes added 16 points. Trey Johnson was the top scorer for the Washington Wizards with 20 points, followed by Bilal Coulibaly scored 18 points. The Toronto Raptors got their three-game winning streak after defeating the Charlotte Hornets, with a score of 97-96. R.J. Barrett was the top scorer for the Toronto Raptors with 28 points, followed by Emmanuel Quickley scored 21 points, Scotty Barnes had 17 points, and Sandro Mamukelashvili added 10 points. Colin Sexton was the top scorer for the Charlotte Hornets with 22 points, followed by LaMelo Ball scored 15 points. The Orlando Magic beat the Brooklyn Nets in overtime, with a score of 104-103. Paolo Banchero was the top scorer for the Orlando Magic with a double-double performance of 30 points and 14 rebounds. Wendell Carter scored 20 points, Tristan da Silva had 14 points, and Noah Penda made a double-double performance of 13 points and 11 rebounds. Michael Porter was the top scorer for the Brooklyn Nets with 34 points, followed by Igor Deman scored 18 points. The New York Knicks snapped their four-game losing streak after defeating the LA Clippers, with a score of 123-111. Jalen Brunson was the top scorer for the New York Knicks with 26 points, followed by Karl Anthony Towns made a double-double performance of 20 points and 11 rebounds. OG Anunoby also scored 20 points, and Miles McBride added 16 points. Kawhi Leonard was the top scorer for the LA Clippers with 25 points, followed by James Harden scored 23 points and 9 assists. The Atlanta Hawks snapped their two-game losing streak after defeating the New Orleans Pelicans, with a score of 117-100. Zachary Rissaker was the top scorer for the Atlanta Hawks with 25 points, followed by Jalen Johnson scored 19 points, Nickeil Alexander-Walker had 17 points, and Dyson Daniels added 13 points. Zion Williamson was the top scorer for the New Orleans Pelicans with 22 points, followed by Jordan Poole scored 21 points. The Phoenix Suns beat the Memphis Grizzlies, with a score of 117-98. Dillon Brooks was the top scorer for the Phoenix Suns with 21 points, followed by Grayson Allen scored 19 points, Devin Booker had 13 points, and Mark Williams made a double-double performance of 12 points and 12 rebounds. Jaren Jackson was the top scorer for the Memphis Grizzlies with 19 points, followed by Cam Spencer scored 14 points. The Oklahoma City Thunder snapped their two-game losing streak after defeating the Utah Jazz in overtime, with a score of 129-125. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was the top scorer for the Oklahoma City Thunder with 46 points, followed by Chet Holmgren made a double-double performance of 23 points and 12 rebounds, Jalen Williams scored 17 points, and Ajay Mitchell added 16 points. Lauri Markkanen was the top scorer for the Utah Jazz with a double-double performance of 29 points and 13 rebounds, followed by Keyonte George also made a double-double performance of 25 points and 11 assists. The San Antonio Spurs snapped their two-game losing streak after defeating the Los Angeles Lakers, with a score of 107-91. Keldon Johnson was the top scorer for the San Antonio Spurs with 27 points, followed by Wembanyama made a double-double performance of 16 points and 14 rebounds, Stephon Castle scored 15 points, and De'Aaron Fox added 14 points. Luka Doncic was the top scorer for the Los Angeles Lakers with a triple-double performance of 38 points, 10 rebounds and 10 assists, followed by Jake LaRavia scored 16 points. The Portland Trail Blazers got their four-game winning streak after defeating the Houston Rockets, with a score of 103-102. Deni Avdija was the top scorer for the Portland Trail Blazers with 41 points, followed by Shaedon Sharpe scored 20 points, Toumani Camara had 14 points and Donovan Clingan added 12 points. Kevin Durant was the top scorer for the Houston Rockets with 37 points, followed by Amen Thompson made a double-double performance of 24 points and 12 rebounds. The Golden State Warriors beat the Milwaukee Bucks, with a score of 120-113. Stephen Curry was the top scorer for the Golden State Warriors with 31 points, followed by DeAnthony Melton scored 22 points, Jimmy Butler had 21 points, and Draymond Green added 14 points. Giannis Antetokounmpo was the top scorer for the Milwaukee Bucks with a double-double performance of 34 points and 10 rebounds, followed by Ryan Rollins scored 16 points. And here are the NBA regular season standings updates. For the Eastern Conference standings, the number 1 in the Eastern Conference standings is Detroit Pistons, with a record of 28 wins and 9 losses. The number 2 is New York Knicks, with a record of 24 wins and 13 losses. The number 3 is Boston Celtics, with a record of 23 wins and 13 losses. The number 4 is Toronto Raptors, with a record of 23 wins and 15 losses. The number 5 is Philadelphia 76ers, with a record of 20 wins and 15 losses. The number 6 and number 7 is Cleveland Cavaliers and Orlando Magic, with a record of 21 wins and 17 losses. The number 8 is Miami Heat, with a record of 20 wins and 17 losses. The number 9 is Atlanta Hawks, with a record of 18 wins and 21 losses. The number 10 is Chicago Bulls, with a record of 17 wins and 20 losses. The number 11 is Milwaukee Bucks, with a record of 16 wins and 21 losses. The number 12 is Charlotte Hornets, with a record of 13 wins and 24 losses. The number 13 is Brooklyn Nets, with a record of 11 wins and 23 losses. The number 14 is Washington Wizards, with a record of 10 wins and 26 losses. The number 15 is Indiana Pacers, with a record of 6 wins and 31 losses. For the Western Conference standings updates, the number 1 in the Western Conference standings is Oklahoma City Thunder, with a record of 31 wins and 7 losses. The number 2 is San Antonio Spurs, with a record of 26 wins and 11 losses. The number 3 is Denver Nuggets, with a record of 25 wins and 12 losses. The number 4 is Los Angeles Lakers, with a record of 23 wins and 12 losses. The number 5 is Minnesota Timberwolves, with a record of 24 wins and 13 losses. The number 6 is Houston Rockets, with a record of 22 wins and 12 losses. The number 7 is Phoenix Suns, with a record of 22 wins and 15 losses. The number 8 is Golden State Warriors, with a record of 20 wins and 18 losses. The number 9 is Portland Trail Blazers, with a record of 18 wins and 20 losses. The number 10 is Memphis Grizzlies, with a record of 16 wins and 21 losses. The number 11 is Dallas Mavericks, with a record of 14 wins and 23 losses. The number 12 is LA Clippers, with a record of 13 wins and 23 losses. The number 13 is Utah Jazz, with a record of 12 wins and 24 losses. The number 14 is Sacramento Kings, with a record of 8 wins and 29 losses. The number 15 is New Orleans Pelicans, with a record of 8 wins and 31 losses. And here are the games scheduled for tomorrow, January 9, Friday morning. In the first game, at 8 a.m., Charlotte Hornets vs. Indiana Pacers. In the second game, at 9 a.m., Chicago Bulls vs. Miami Heat and Minnesota Timberwolves vs. Cleveland Cavaliers. At 10 a.m., Utah Jazz vs. Dallas Mavericks.